Let's dive into Piper's training so that we can stay consistent at home. So, whenever she's offering a behavior that we want to keep on seeing, that could be following our commands or just being polite, we want to make sure that we're rewarding her with praise, petting, or treats. That way, we can encourage those behaviors and we'll see them more often. And then, if we're ever seeing behaviors that we don't want to see, that could be jumping on people, being a little too crazy, or breaking a command, we want to make sure we're following through with our training equipment. That way, we can stay on top of those behaviors and we'll see them less often. So, starting right here, this is her prong collar. This will be on her anytime that she has that leash on, and then anytime that you have eyes on her, this can be on as well. So how it works is to put it on and off, you'll secure the link right next to this plate right here, slide it up, squeeze and wiggle it through, and then to put it back, you'll line those two prongs up with those two loops, and then squeeze them back through right there. This will sit on the highest point of her neck. And then when she has that leash on, it'll attach to the swiveling D-ring right here. You'll see that it has two different rings. We want the leash on the swiveling D-ring. And how this works is, say she's offering that unwanted behavior. It could be on a walk, it could be in a command, or just out and about. What you're going to do is you're going to mark that incorrect behavior by saying no, following through with a pop of that leash or the prong collar, and then continuing on that command. So it could be, for example, no, pop, heel, or no, pop, sit. Just like that. And then this right here is her remote collar. So this will be on her as soon as she wakes up, and then you can take it off before she goes to bed. But how you turn it on and off, two little red dots right there, you'll touch them together. That light will light up green. That means the collar is on. On the back of the remote, you'll see that L button. You'll press and hold. This green will light up, and that number that's displayed is her working level. Right now, we have her on level 16. It's going great for us, and as she gets older, she might need to adjust that just as she needs it, but right now, level 16 is perfect for her. And then on the side, you'll see that black S button right there. So how this works is, say she's offering that unwanted behavior, what you can do is you'll mark that behavior by saying no, following through with that black S button, and then continuing on that command. So using that heel example again, no, black S button, heel. Alrighty, and then that is her training equipment, and then we'll jump into her commands. Alrighty, so first we have heel. Heel is that nice loose leash walking position on our left-hand side. Whenever she's in that position, we want to make sure that we're praising her, giving her treats, or petting her, so that we can encourage that she stays right there and isn't doing anything funky. If she decides she wants to pull ahead or play with our hand, what we can do is we'll follow through with our training equipment. That way we can stay on top of those behaviors and then once again seeing them less often. So with the remote collar, you can use the remote collar or the prong collar or both depending on the situation. You just mark that behavior by saying no, follow through with the black S button or a pop of that prong collar, and then continuing on our heel. Usually during a walk, we'll have her in that heel command 80 or 90% of the time. The other 10 or 20% will have her in a free, and free just means that she's not in any set command. So she's good to go sniff, do her business, or anything like that, but she's still not allowed to pull on that leash. So if she starts to pull, we'll still follow through with our prong collar or remote collar, let her know that, hey, you went too far. And then also if she's jumping on someone, we want to make sure that we're following through as well. That way she's not jumping on people as often. And then that could also be if she's playing with your hand, you can follow through with your training equipment then as well, and that'll encourage her to do that less. And then next we have sit. So sit has an implied stay. So as soon as we tell her that she is in a sit, she's not allowed to get up until we tell her either free or heel. And then if she does get up from that sit, trying again until she gets it right. So say you approach a door, you put her in that sit. You open the door, if she starts to get up, tell her sit, close the door, try again until she gets it right, following through with her training equipment, of course. And then to follow through with the prong collar in a sit, instead of popping in the back direction like we would in a heel, you pop in upwards. And that encourages their head to go up and their butt to go down into a sit. And then next we have down. Down also has an implied stay, so once she's in that down position, she's not allowed to crawl, wiggle, or get up until we tell her free or heel. And then if she does start to crawl, or if she gets up from that down, putting her back in that down position where she originally was, and trying again until she gets it right. So if someone comes in the house and she's in that down position, or if you're at the store and she's in that down, she starts to get up, put her back in that down, and then try again until she gets it right. And then next we have place. Place is a boundary stay. So this could be on a raised bed or a normal bed. Ideally it has a boundary so that she can tell the difference between the place bed and the floor. And how this one works is we'll send her to place by saying place. At first, you might need to approach the bed with her in the house until she learns exactly which place bed is hers. And then, once she's on place, she has to keep all 4 feet up there. If one comes off, we tell her no, follow through with her training equipment to get her back up on that bed, and then trying again. And then introducing things slowly here as well. So you can start introducing distance, distractions, and duration. So starting with distance, adding more steps in between you and her, and then adding up the length. So sit on the couch, hang out there for a little bit, go reward her. And then you can also start introducing other people as well. So having someone knock on the door and then you go answer it, stuff like that. And then once again, if she gets off that place bed, going back and trying all over until she gets it right. And then next we have recall, or come when called. When practicing this one, definitely have her on a super long leash at first. That way, if she doesn't come right back to us, we still have access to her to follow through. So how this one works is you can use either a toy, someone else, or just letting her sniff to get her nice and distracted and build distance between you and her. And then once she's nice and distracted, you'll nice and loudly say, come. You can either say, Piper, come, or just come, and then she'll come running back to you. Ideally, she'll come running right back to you. But if for whatever reason she gets distracted, what we'll do is we'll reel her in just like a fish, get her all the way back to us, and then as soon as she's in our space in the sit, we're going to reward. Even if she doesn't come right back to us the first time, we want to make sure that we're rewarding. That way, we're building us as that positive zone, and she'll want to come back to us more often. And then, once she's in that sit, she's not allowed to get up until you tell her free or heel, just like any other command. So once again, if she's getting up from that sit, putting her back and trying again. And then last, we have leave it. So also introducing this one at home, starting off on a leash and using a dog-safe toy or a treat. Tossing it away from her, telling her to leave it. And then once she's in a sit or a down, we'll reward her from our hand before telling her free. And then once she's able to get that toy or treat, if it's something that she can have, telling her okay, and then giving it to her from our hand as well. And then that is all of Piper's commands. We are ready to go watch her do them in public. Sit. Good sit. 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 Good girl, Piper. Down. Down. Good. Down. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down, Piper. Free. So now I'm going to go over some other functions of Piper's remote collar. So a little reminder how to turn it on and off. Those two little red dots on the side of the remote collar and the remote itself, you'll touch those two together. When the light flashes green, it's on. And then if it were to flash red just like that, it's off. It does have a function where once it's running out of battery, it'll flash orange. That just means you need to charge it. Usually it only takes about an hour or so to fully charge up. And then the remote itself, there's a button on the back. That L button, you'll press and hold, screen will light up blue, that means it's on. To turn it off, you'll press and hold again, and then that screen will turn off as well. And then on the side of it, you'll have that T button. T is the vibrate function. So I use this one to tell if I turned the collar on. It's a great way to tell if you turned the collar on or not, if it's on her. On the other side, you have that black S button. That's going to be her normal button for every day. So to follow through any command if she breaks it, anything like that, no black S button continuing on that command. The red S button is for emergencies, so it matches her adrenaline. If she's running out of road and she's not responding to you or the black S button or anything like that, you can use that red S button and it jumps it up 25 levels. So right now we have her on level 16 right there. If you press that red S button, you'll see that it jumps up. Just like that. On the back of the remote, you'll have that L button. That's the on and off feature and the flashlight. So, alrighty, they're both on. If you press it once, it'll have a flashing feature. If you press it again, it'll have that light on, just like a solid. A third time, turns it off. And then next to that light button, there's M/C. That just stands for momentary versus continuous. So now that she's further in her training, we don't use the continuous feature. We use that to introduce it in a positive way. So now that she's farther, once again, we just have it on momentary. So instead of a continuous stimulation, it's just one and done. And it's not a shock, it's just a muscle stimulator. So it just stimulates the muscles on the side of her neck and catches her attention a little bit better. Alrighty, and then if you need to change her level, what you can do is press and hold that knob at the top. And then once it flashes, you can adjust levels there. And then to put it back into place, you'll press and hold again, it'll flash, and then stay solid. And that locks the level. And then once again, this is going to be the first thing that goes on her in the morning, and the last thing that comes off at night. Anytime that we're home with her, she should have this on so that we always have a way to communicate effectively with her. And then it does stay charged for a few 12 to 14 hour days. So if you have it on her for 12 or 14 hours a day, you should be okay getting away with charging it every other day or so. And then it does also have a 2-year warranty. So if you run into any issues, you can contact the manufacturer and they'll get it all sorted out for you. And then it is also waterproof. So if she likes to go swimming, or if it's raining, or she's jumping in a puddle, you won't have to worry too much about it. But if she is wet for a longer amount of time, I would definitely recommend rotating where the collar is on her neck. That way she's not creating any sores. But other than that, you guys are all set to have fun. Stay consistent.